everybody.
Hello.
It's just a mailbag for you right now. We'll be back with a full episode next weekend.
Yes.
But we had to take a little break last week, so we're shooting a little late.
We got things happening, and sometimes we got to shift things around.
Yeah.
But you know what?
We're still here with a little bit of a dose for you. We got a couple of letters. You go first. I want you to read this one.
Okay. All right. This one is from Troy Barber.
Hi, Troy.
Our beloved pal. Hi, Viva crew. I'm sorry I missed the parking lot sale, but I was very pleased to receive my latest mystery box from you recently, which is maybe a decent substitute. Insert plug for the mystery box. I was about to do it. So the mystery box is a box of mystery movies that you get based on like a little survey of preferences that you'll fill out that you can receive at a certain membership
perk for the
level.
membership tiers.
Do you know what tier it is?
Off the top of my head, I do not.
We'll flash it on the screen.
Yeah.
And we get to pick it out for you, and it's really fun. And take it from Troy, it's like Christmas morning opening the box to see what goodies arrived. It's usually a mixed bag, which is part of the fun, and I wanted to share that I really enjoyed the recent movie you sent, Sisters from 2001. I'd never heard of this film, and the Cyrillic letters on the packaging briefly had me worried that you'd sent me a DVD in Russian only. But there were subtitles, and the movie was quite charming. Young sisters on the run from the mob because of their bad dad. Love it already. Alone and relying on their wits, sharp shooting skills, and friends they meet along the way, they stay one step ahead of being kidnapped by baddies. It stars Oksana Akinchina right before she made Lilia Forever, which is good, by Moodyson. I recommend. It might make a fun double feature with the De Palma sisters from 1972. Emily, I know you like doing that kind of thing. I do. And also I love both the movies that you mentioned. So speaking of which, I love that Emily is working through all the vendettas of the world. I'm taking on all the vendettas of the world.
The Arts of Can Lee.
I too enjoy pairing movies with the same name titles for at-home double features. Some recent examples. Birder, which is a queer nudist resort thriller, and
Indeed.
Bird, a bad dad, Barry Keoghan deals in toad skin slime and sings 90s pop songs. What the hell?
Okay.
He's such a little freak, that Barry. Fury and Son of Fury, not a sequel, unrelated, both pretty boring. The Origin of Evil and Evil Does Not Exist. Joyride, about looking for birth parents in China comedy, and Joyride, Olivia Colman Irish comedy. Regarding the last one, I realize now that I missed an opportunity to make it a triple and watch the Viva Rec Joyride from 1977, which is still on my watch list, Emily. In my notes... What
about the trucker slasher movie Joyride?
I was going to say, you should pair this one that you said you missed with the Paul Walker, Steve Zahn, Lily Sobieski.
Written by J.J. Abrams.
So good. In my notes, I plan to make that a double with Those Redheads from Seattle, ? I looked up because I didn't remember what Those Redheads from Seattle was, but it's about, turns out, some redheads from Seattle who decide to go to Alaska. So those would go well together, yeah. But definitely check out Joyride from 1977 for sure. Best, Troy in San Francisco. And that does remind me that you need to find more vendettas. And not that they're hard to find, I just need to grab them and watch them.
Yeah, or you could just make, have a real vendetta with somebody.
I do.
Which is right there.
All right, thanks, Troy.
That was a good letter.
I know, it was. What do you have?
I've got one from Brendan Sweeney, who's a regular writer. Hi, Brendan. Hi, everybody. Yeah, hi, Ruthie. Ruthie's his dog. He says, I'm kind of a movie dork. I even watch a YouTube show from my local video rental place. Fuck that show. Whatever show you're watching, you should watch this show. Yes, that's... God damn it. All right, but I got asked a movie question tonight and I didn't have a concise answer. Could you two help me out?
Yeah.
What is an exploitation movie?
Okay.
Is there, or could you make up, a technical definition with necessary and sufficient conditions? How would you best explain that to somebody whose movie experience is mostly limited to the modern mainstream? Do you have an exploitation recommendation for that person if they wanted to dip a toe in? And finally, do you have an exploitation recommendation for the people who don't need to ask what the term means, even if they could define it? So,
you probably are like better equipped to talk about it because I feel like you are more... I mean, I love exploitation movies, but I feel like you're more knowledgeable about them. But I mean, basically, they're just like bonkers movies that are like oftentimes very violent or very sexual and meant to shock and entertain. And oftentimes they are lower budget, but they don't have to be. And like typically, if you think about them, you're probably thinking about like 1970s, a lot of horror, a lot of action. But those aren't by any means like restrictive boxes. I guess let's see, I don't know, like John Waters, horror stuff, like Hills Have Eyes, like Maniac, Miss 45, like a lot of good stuff. A lot of stuff I like already. I don't know, you take
You're
the
doing
wheel.
great.
Take the Thank
You're doing great.
Thank you.
So in the term exploitation, who is being exploited?
Well, that's the thing. People make that mistake. Nobody. The idea is not that you're exploiting a person. The idea is you're exploiting a trend.
Yeah, this isn't like a Mondo, like...
I mean, Mondo is exploitation.
But that's, like,
again,
actual-
that was exploiting a trend. You know, suddenly people who have money to make movies realize that black audiences are being underserved. So they start making action and suspense movies and thrillers that are geared toward a black audience. They start to realize that porno is becoming popular again. So they start making sexploitation films that are sort of tinged with action. And that's why you get like movies like Bonnie's Kids. That's where the whole women in prison subgenre comes in. So don't think of exploitation as a rigid set of guidelines. They tend to be movies that are sort of going after what's popular in the zeitgeist and like giving them a lot of zhuzh with a lot of sex and violence that
Like
make them
turning the
outre.
volume up on it.
Yes. And they tend to be cheap, as you said,
Yeah.
because they were meant to be played in drive-ins and grindhouse theaters. They were meant to be fast, cheap, easy to make, and to turn a very quick profit. What's being exploited is you, the viewer. They are stealing money from you to watch movies that are probably not going to be very good. There are a lot of great exploitation movies, though. I mean, so many. And, you know, then you have the long legacy of people ripping off and trying to make their own modern-day exploitation movies, some more successfully than others. You know, Kill Bill certainly inspired another 20 years of people making grindhouse movies that are mostly terrible. But, you know, sort of that's the trend that's being exploited there.
Yeah.
And so that's in my opinion the way that I would describe it.
Totally.
I do not think that it is a good idea to put boxes around stuff like that,
Yeah.
though, and say like, well, this isn't one and this is one. There are plenty of really classy, high budget, like big mainstream movies that you could say are exploitation films.
Yeah, and you can find influences of every genre within every
Absolutely.
genre. So really, what is it an exploitation?
100%. That's a very good question. Okay, do I have an exploitation recommendation for a person if they wanted to dip a toe in?
I feel like you always have good exploitation.
Well, I talked about
recommendations.
my favorite blaxploitation movie of all time here a few episodes back called Truck Turner, and if you want to get into blaxplo, that is a great gateway drug. I would recommend that to just about anybody. I think it's a fantastic film. It is the best blaxploitation movie ever made. Do I have an exploitation recommendation for people who don't need to ask what the term means, even if they couldn't define it? Yes, I have many, but I'll give you
So
a
wait,
good
does
one.
that mean like someone who thinks they have a handle on it but needs a recommendation? Okay.
Yeah. And I have another great one, and also a blaxploitation movie called Top of the Heap. It was directed by a black actor. It was the only film he ever made. He scrounged together the money to make it. It's an incredible film about a black cop who slowly starts to realize that he's the tool of oppression. You know, he is like an unflinching member of the system, and it wreaks havoc on his psyche. It's a great film that I have been recommending to people for a very long time.
Cool.
So hopefully those were good answers, Brendan. Don't get tangled in the idea of defining what an exploitation movie is.
But more use it as tools to jump off and explore a wider pool of things that may or may not fall under that category or influence.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I mean, that was our
Mailbag. And we'll see you next week with a regular episode.
Bye.
Bye.